Ditch the fairy tale, princess. It's time to step outside the status quo and blaze your own trail. The path littered with setbacks, successes, and newfound passions. Why? Because when you break away from the script, you start to pursue a life by choice. One that is all yours. Live unscripted and rewrite your life.
All right, I got to ask you the question. Are you ready to start your damn podcast yet? Start Your Damn Podcast is my 4-week course to take you from idea to launching your very own podcast. I can't freaking believe it. It's finally here with the help of some very amazing humans. This course is going to change your life. And it's also going to give you your very own podcast show. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? I mean, can you literally feel it through your body? Did you just get the chills when I said that? Because I feel like maybe you were me and you were stuck in Comparisonville. You were stuck in, oh my God, who am I going to share this with? No one's going to listen to my podcast. Who am I to start a podcast? Let the mumbling, ranting, raving in your brain take over phase. I mean, I hope not. I hope you just maybe woke up one day and you were like, a podcast would be really amazing. Or maybe it's been on your heart for a while, but you're too busy, or you think you're too busy to start your own show. What does it even entail? I wouldn't even know where to start. The tech alone scared the shit out of me. And the editing piece, the who am I actually speaking to? What the heck am I actually going to talk about? All of those things are normal. And even if you have a clear idea of what you want your podcast to be about, you might not know who it's for. And you might not know how to launch your damn podcast on your own, what platforms to use, and all of the things. So that's why I sat down and I really figured out, how can I take you from idea to launch and be up and live in as little as 4 weeks? That's where this course came from. I went through a course very similar with one of my podcasting mentors, Keisha Get Merry, formerly known as Keisha Fitzgerald. She has the Empower Her podcast and live events. And going through her program, getting coached one-to-one with her being one of the few mentors that I sought out during this time where I was looking to really become a better podcaster. And I just want to share with you some top reasons to start a podcast. If you want to know more about my story in the podcasting space, maybe I'll do another episode on that. But for today, this is just a quickie episode to help you figure out if possibly starting a podcast is right for you. The top reasons I've found for starting a podcast go like this. They create awareness that you even exist, right? So if you're building a business, if you have a current existing business, no matter what kind of business it is, it helps create awareness of who you are and that you even exist, right? It's one more piece of content that you can put out into the world that is you and yours alone and can be whatever you want, however you want, okay? It helps you connect with new people, right? So new listeners are going to be able to find you by downloading episodes based off the titles that you use and the things that you're talking about. So how exciting is that? Like someone who would have never found you otherwise could find you through podcasting, right? Because podcasting is so popular right now. It helps you build credibility as a human, as a business owner, as a person of interest, someone to look towards for education, leadership, personal development. What is it that you love sharing and talking about? And can that establish some sort of trust with your potential new clients or friends or coworkers or co-collaborators? It'll help you expand your network, which is similar to building credibility, but expanding your network, trust me, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to go to networking events in person, right? Or to spread yourself through the DMs, liking and commenting on everybody's posts on social. But expanding your network through allowing people to get to know you at their own pace and their own time, tuning into conversations that interest them. And then also, this is my favorite part, it allows you a basic front door invitation into people you might not be able to even afford to spend an hour of their time with them, right? It has allowed me so many opportunities to talk to really high level people and not only talk to them, but spend an hour asking them questions, picking their brain, getting to know how they think about things, and then sharing it with my audience, right? I become the plug. I'm the master connector, which I love being. So if you love sharing other people's shit, whether it's education or ways that they've gotten from where they are to where they want to be, people love to know that. So if you have the way to get in and ask those questions, it just brings more and more awareness, right, back to you. It builds that credibility that you are doing the work and getting out there. And it'll 10x your network in ways that can help boost your business and your life in ways you've never even imagined possible. You are giving value. Anytime you put podcast content out there, it is a way for you to add value, free value to other people, right? You're like, oh my gosh, if she is sharing all of this on her podcast, I wonder how much more I would get if I actually bought a course from her, or if I took a lesson from her, or if I went and got a service done with her. Things like that, just giving value, adding something to other people's lives is a huge piece of why I show up for the podcast like I do. That also allows you to create content that can be repurposed. So if you've been struggling to show up and dance for a TikTok reel or parade your way through a story, you can sit down, create content through video and obviously talking, and repurpose that on so many different platforms. So gone are the days where video on TikTok has to be you dancing. You can literally showcase yourself saying something thoughtful, insightful, educational, entertaining, and use that as content that you can repurpose. It's awesome. And then the last piece that I think is a top reason to start a podcast is maybe you just want to have fun and be creative. Like my whole vibe for 2023 is have more fun, get to be more creative. And third piece was be courageous, right? It allows me to ask questions that I normally wouldn't maybe feel like I could ask somebody. It's allowed for me to be able to talk about things, not in a I know what I'm talking about, but a hey, do you resonate with that too? Or I've noticed through my coaching clients that like the common things come up on ways that we get held back, or that we're all feeling this collective burnout, or whatever the thing may be. And to know that I can have a really open space to come and talk about it on the show with you and share it with you. So this is my invitation to you to explore the idea. If you've been on the fence about possibly starting a podcast, I'd love to chat with you. And I think a lot of you might feel like you need a big following or an established audience to start a podcast. The truth is, a podcast is a brilliant tool to grow your audience from nothing. So you can start a podcast even if you have an audience of 0, meaning if you're in a place where you want to kind of pivot. So for me, I'll give you an example. I was a hairdresser for 22 years. I started the podcast during COVID when I was an angry hairdresser who was unable to work. And in the first 2 years of my podcast, I spoke to mostly beauty industry professionals. I talked about ways we could bulletproof our business, that we could step into ownership, leadership, how we could all make 6 figures and beyond without that burnout. That felt in alignment with who I was and what I was doing and my expertise over the past few years, right? 22 to be exact. And now moving into this new phase and space in my life, I've fallen in love with podcasting. So I want to grow an audience of people who want to start their podcast, who want to build brand awareness, who want to grow their personal brand, who want to write their own script, who want to do things their own freaking way. That's my new audience. And building a new audience has never been easier than showing up to do a podcast, right? Because I can take this piece of content, repurpose it, and use it for things on social. And it's just a very powerful way to grow an audience, but more so a community, right? An audience is one thing, and we can talk about that on another podcast also, but an audience is full of people who look and listen. What you really want to be building is a community of people who want to go with you, a community of people you want to take with you, right? Because it should never be about a look at me type of a phase. And I want to just preface that for anybody who's thinking about starting a podcast. If you can really establish this come with me vibe in your podcast, you will be successful. If you are more of a look at me, I got it all figured out, I don't know that that'll resonate with everybody, nor is it my ideal client that I'd like to work with. So this is your permission to have boundaries around what you want to do and how you want to show up. But I am calling in the people who want to show up and serve and who are unapologetic about sharing their stories and maybe even want to interview other people as a way to grow their brand awareness and to expand their network, build credibility, and just network the fuck out of life, right? Because the more we learn, the more we grow and expand, and the more confidence we have around doing new things. So this is, again, your invitation. If you'd like to learn more about the Start Your Damn Podcast course, just shoot me a DM and I'd love to chat with you.
Creating this podcast is as much fun as it sounds, and it's not hard. You're worthy of sharing your expertise with the world. So I've broken it down so you can start your own damn podcast in 4 weeks or less. Head to the link in the show notes to start now.